All right, guys, this is it. I've got my clipboard of rules, protocols, etiquette for the race, and I thought we'd put together this video so that you guys have time to watch this video and digest the rules and etiquette around doing a triathlon and our event. A lot of you, this is your first time, but there's many of you that have done this before. So it's good to go over these rules rather than just on race day when your mind is actually really not there because you're really nervous about the event ahead. So take the time, watch this video, watch it again if you need to, and just soak in the day for what it is. I'm going to go over these rules very briefly before the race, but this is a good time just for you to sit back and watch the video and soak it all in. First of all, thank you very much for picking the TriMuskokan for your race this year, like putting it on your race schedule. Many of you are coming from out of town, so taking the effort and taking the time for you to actually get yourself here, stay overnight, we and our community really appreciate it. We appreciate the fact that you've spent your hard-earned dollars on a registration fee, all of which the proceeds go towards the Muscle Project, which is the movement for strength, conditioning, and active lifestyles for everyone. And we're working to install publicly accessible fitness parks in our community for everybody to use. So, starting with check-in. When you come here, you park your car, budget lots of time. We do have on-site parking, but there's parking that is going to be off-site, close by, but you might have to walk in. So budget that time that like you're walking in from a side street. Going through check-in, you can do it on Saturday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Or you can do it on race morning. If you do it on Saturday, you still have to come back and get your show your race bib to get your timing chip. But if you do it on Sunday, you got to go through a whole registration process, get your bib, get your swim cap, get the wrist strap to go around your bike to identify that that's your bike, and get your timing chip. So it's going to take a little bit more time. Plus, you don't have time to look around on Saturday at the race venue itself. When you come to check in, you identify yourself. You don't need to show ID. If you are checking in for somebody else, it's probably a good idea that you bring something to say, this person's asking me to check in for them. It just helps us keep track of everything. You're going to get your swim cap, you're going to get your race bib, and you're going to get a wristband that goes around somewhere on your bike because that's your ticket for getting your bike out of transition. You're going to have to show your bib against this wristband in order for you to get your bike out of transition. Make sure you take a minute to visit the swag shop, which is going to be right beside the check-in. We've got a number of items on sale. Those items are well laid out on our website and in the email that we send out before the race. We also have Muskoka Bicycle Pro Shop on site. They're going to be there to sell some last-minute items that you might need. Also, if you have a click or a whir or you need your bike looked over or something's not working right, they'll be there to do a quick little adjustment. They're also going to be on the bike course to do any on-course, flat tires if you need help. I mean, you're going to have to be patient until they get there, but they are out there for technical support. We also have F2C Nutrition, and they're the company that provides on-course nutrition at the aid station that we have. We will also have F2C in transition for you to fill up your water bottles. We also have F2C station outside of transition where you can fill up water bottles and at the finish line. We do sell TriMuskokan branded water bottles. For $10, you can fill it up with their product all weekend long, as much as you want. And the $10 goes towards the Muscle Project. So it's another great way to help us fundraise some more money for the Muscle Project. So once you've checked in and you've put that wristband around your bike somewhere, then you can head into transition. You can put your bike anywhere. We do have two zones. We have a short course zone and we have a tri zone. And when you put your bike in there, you can put it wherever you like. So if you have friends, you can be right beside the friends. Because at the end of the day, everybody has to travel the same distance to get in and out of the transition zone. So it doesn't really matter. That's why we don't do age groups, like some races do. For newbies, take the time to look in the athlete guide and watch the videos on the website. There's lots of help on how to set up your transition zone, how to do the swim, how to do the bike, how to do the run, how to get changed from one to the next. So take the time to watch that. If somebody's in transition zone right beside you and they look like they've done it before, probably a good idea to ask them, say, hey, am I doing this right? There's little tips and little tricks that you pick up across the way. All of us seasoned triathletes are there to help you, because it just means that you're going to get that much more out of the day, and you are going to probably, well, hopefully, do it again, because it's super fun. So I'm going to go over to the swim course, and we're going to go over some elements of the swim so that you can know what to expect. So I'm here at the swim course, and once you set up the transition zone, make your way to the train station, catch the ride down the train that comes down this train track, and we'll drop you off right at Camp Kitchen, which is right behind me, and you'll be all ready for getting on with the race. Like I said before, we are going to do a super brief pre-race meeting, and the swim starts for both the tri and the short course in deep water. So you might be treading water. Some people who are really tall actually might be able to touch the ground for the short course, but the triers, you're going to be floating in water. So if you don't have a wetsuit, you're going to be treading water. If you have a wetsuit, you'll be floating totally fine. You just got to make sure that you start behind the start line buoys. We've got 2 buoys that are going to mark where the start line is, and you have to start behind there. There's going to be a kayaker there that's going to make sure. For the short course people, you swim around the outside of the buoys. That means that the buoys will always be off of your left shoulder, and then you're going to enter the river. And when you get back into the river, you can swim anywhere in the river. The only thing is you got to keep that last buoy, which is right by the swim exit, off of your left shoulder. No cutting the corners, okay? That's basically it. The rules of the swim are that you must wear a swim cap in the water that we provide you, not one that you bring from home. If you got a latex allergy, because they are latex caps, bring a silicone cap to put underneath it, okay? The color identifies what wave you are in, so we make sure that you're starting with the right wave. We also use the caps to see where you are in the water. If you get into trouble, you take your cap off and you wave it around, and a kayaker will come over and get you and assist you right away. Like I said, when you start the race, you need to start behind the 2 start line boys. When you get into the water, there is a little there's a little area where you can warm up, but try to stay out of the way of the start line. And then, you know, wetsuits usually are permitted. There hasn't been a year where we have not been able to. However, if the water temperature is too cold, then we actually will make it wetsuit mandatory. It's never been so cold, and it's like 64 degrees, so that's not even anywhere near that right now. But just know that there might be that possibility. Wetsuits are not permitted when the water gets too warm too, because it can actually cause overheating and you can actually get sick and can precipitate issues. We will make that call on race day, okay? If you hear nothing, it means wetsuit optional. If you hear us tell you whether it's wetsuit mandatory or we tell you it's wetsuit, you can't wear a wetsuit, then we will let you know. And if we know ahead of the race, we'll let you know, okay? Let's head out onto the bike course. You know, for the bike course, you're going to, once you get up to the swim exit and you stand up, okay, we're going to take you from swim out to the bike course. You're going to stand up in the water, and you know, the key is to swim as far as you can. And when you get to the water, there's going to be a couple of people help you stand up. There's a little wooden platform that you're going to walk over, and then you're going to have to climb a little hill to get to the top of the hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, there's some wetsuit strippers. What wetsuit strippers are people that help you get out of your wetsuit, because by the time you run from the swim exit all the way through to transition, that wetsuit will be stuck to you like glue. So best to get out of as much of your wetsuit as you can. And there's these awesome volunteers that are at no other short course race in the world that will help you get out of your wetsuit. We work super hard to make sure that pathway running from swim to the transition is super clean. We keep the pebbles swept off there. In fact, we have carpet for you to run on most of the way. So stay on the carpeted path, because the running people for the duathlon, and sometimes the short course people for you triers, the runners will be going in the opposite direction. So it's kind of like that's your zone. Stay on the grass carpet, okay? Once you're in transition and you have gotten yourself to your transition spot, you need, probably the first thing to do, clip your helmet on your head, because you cannot take your bike off of the rack until that helmet is taken off. For some of you who are seasoned, you can put your race bib on, your sunglasses on, and your helmet on, and then take your bike and go. But for you newbies, sometimes it's a good idea just to put it on your head so you don't forget about it. Because you cannot, ! Take your bike off of the rack without having the helmet clipped onto your head. Make sure, for a little tip, make sure that your bike is in the low gear in order for you to not have a hard time when you get onto your bike. If you have it on really hard gear, going up that first little incline out of the transition area to get to the Brunel, which is the main road you're going to be biking on, is actually going to be really challenging. For the short course athletes, you're going to go out 15 kilometers and you're going to come back 15 kilometers. For the triers, you do 5 out, 5 back. There's no drafting, okay? And what drafting is that you have 30 seconds to pass a person that is in front of you. You need to keep 2 bike lengths between you and the person in front of you. You can't hang around in there, because that is that's an advantage, because the actual wind resistance is less in that area. So when you are coming up behind somebody and you're going to pass behind them, you just don't stay behind them. You got to pass them. You have 30 seconds. You pull out to the left of them. You say, "On your left." And then they will know you're coming, and then you get around them. Once they have passed you, if you are the person being passed, then you need to, sorry, I'm standing on half of a hill here. Then you need to drop back out of that draft zone. You cannot block, which means 2 people riding side by side. Even if you're friends, even if you got a nice conversation going with them, you got to get out of the way, because the road is not closed. It's controlled. We've got police cars, we've got volunteers, but you need to not be in the way of all the motorized traffic. Then once you get to the turnaround, you turn around and you come on back. Make sure you just keep your eyes open for pavement that's been disrupted, or there's potholes. We are going to try the best we can with paint to mark where they are, so that you don't get into problems. But just know that those kinds of things are out there, and that you just have to be aware of everything around you. Let's see what else is on here. So when you're coming back from the bike course into transition, remember that you're going to be going on a downhill. So slow down. Nobody wins the race in that couple of minutes or a couple of seconds that you're on that downhill. You have to get off of your bike before the dismount line. You have to leave your helmet clipped on until you get your bike back on the rack. Easy? Easy. We've got volunteers that are going to make sure of that. We have officials that are officiating the race, and they will tell you to keep it clipped on if they see you taking it off. They might even give you a penalty if you take it off, and it's a time penalty that gets added to your score. So probably a good idea just to do the simple thing and keep it on before you take it off, and when you put it back on, then you can unclip. Okay? The run course, it's easy. Just put your shoes on and follow the signs. There's tons of volunteers. There's one confusing corner, but we have a gazillion volunteers there that will point you in the right direction. The rules for the run course are that you have to keep your shirt on. Okay, you have to keep your torso covered up. We don't allow bare torsos. Women, you can have a tank top or a sports bra. That's okay. But guys, leave it on. Nobody wants to see it. You cannot wear earplugs, earbuds, earphones, nothing at any point in the race, whether it's on the bike or on the run course. You need to be able to hear what's going on around you. The short course athletes, you're going to do 2 laps of the run course. Make sure that you take the right diversion spot to go down to the second lap, and then the athlete or the volunteers will guide you into the finish. If we see that you have incredibly fast times, we will know that you only did 1 lap. So nobody has tried that, and we will be examining people that have super fast running races that running times that don't make sense. Okay, triers, athletes, you just complete 1 lap of the course. In fact, you don't even have to go the full way. There is going to be a sign saying try a tri course turnaround. That's where you turn around. And do athletes, that's where you're going to turn around for the first lap, first loop of the run. So you do run, bike, run. You're going to do just the try run, go for your bike, come back and do the short course run. We have one aid station that has water and FTC nutrition. At it, you're going to hit it 4 times. And we're going to have a water station that's self-serve at the top of the hill. The nasty, nasty hill that everybody says every year, can we have a water station there? This year we're going to do it for you. Okay? Self-serve, meaning you pour it yourself, drink, put the cup in the garbage can. Please keep it clean. We're not your maids. Okay? We do have medical care at the finish line should you need it. Other general rules. Littering is not permitted at any time, any part of the course from the start to the finish. If you are caught littering, you will be disqualified. Full stop. Okay? Keep our area nice and clean. Competitors may not receive assistance from anybody else at any point in time. Other than a competing athlete, if you have a flat tire and you don't have a tube and somebody throws you a tube, that's okay. But your mom or dad who have a special drink for you, you can't get it from them. If you are having trouble in the water and need to hang on to a kayak, that is totally fine, but the kayak cannot move you forward, okay? They will just keep you where you are, catch your breath, and then you keep swimming yourself. You must stay on course for the whole race. Seems obvious, but no cheating, no cutting corners, okay? And it's your responsibility to review this video, review the athlete guide, come prepared, have all these things. If you have questions, just go to the Facebook group that we have, put your question up there. There's no silly questions, and ask them there. That's easy. We will not tolerate any verbal or physical abuse to any of our volunteers, officials, anybody, other athletes, okay? If that happens, your race is done. And we probably will not invite you back to our race. And like I said, keep everything covered up. Bare torsos are not permitted. This event, we like to think of it as a race experience. Okay, this is a race that we have lots of stuff: music, awesome food, awesome swag, DJs, recovery zones, beer, awesome swag, and then there's a race in there as well. Okay, make it as festive as you can. If you are having a good time, the volunteers are going to have a good time. The other athletes are going to have a good time. High five everybody. Big smiles. We've got photographers out on course. Make sure you give them your best whoop pose. Okay? Just have fun. Enjoy it. One of the biggest things that we know that improves time and effort and all this stuff that you've put into training is actually you having fun. Big smiles on your faces actually makes the whole experience more enjoyable, less painful. And even that hill that I was standing on that goes up, that you're going to experience, it's going to be more fun too. Anyways, we look forward to seeing you. Again, I will abbreviate these messages on race day super quick, but watch this video again and again and again until you get it into your head that you know what the rules and the etiquette are. The same stuff is on our website. It's in the athlete guide. Read it, come prepared, and once you're prepared, you'll just have fun. And that's what this whole event's about. Having fun, enjoying the experience, raising money for an amazing project that's going to transform our community. And thank you very much. We truly, truly, truly appreciate everything that you guys do to make our event awesome.